Most teams move fast, but often in the wrong direction. We pour maximum effort into the nearest, loudest issue, like a firefighter hosing down a small trash can fire, while the real strategic threat burns in the background. Effort is at max, results are at minimum, and impact is limited. We keep fixing issues only to see them come back in a new form, because activity is masking a lack of direction. This field manual gives you 5 diagnostic tools to shift from frantic firefighting to strategic root cause analysis.
The key insight is simple. We jump to solutions before we truly understand the issue. On one side is the guessing game, a confused mechanic tearing an engine apart, hoping to stumble on the fault. On the other side is the diagnostic approach, a technician using a clear readout to pinpoint the real problem. In the first case, the illusion of progress comes from activity. In the second, structured thinking replaces guessing with solving. When we skip diagnosis, we treat symptoms while the disease remains. Traditional firefighting at work has a real cost. Picture 3 tanks labeled time, energy, and confidence, all draining into a single pipe marked rework and firefighting that disappears into a sewer. That's what happens when we rely on gut alone. We waste resources as time and energy flow into low-impact fixes. We feel recurring pain because the same conflicts, delays, and rework keep happening. And we miss opportunities because our attention is stuck on noise instead of signal. The trap is treating every loud issue as urgent, relying on instinct instead of structure, and searching for one big bet instead of exploring options. To escape that trap, you need a diagnostic toolkit, 5 simple instruments that move you from panic to precision. Pre-mortem analysis helps you mitigate risk before you start. The 5 whys help you dig past symptoms to root causes. Decision tree analysis lets you map logic and outcomes. Rapid SWOT gives you immediate situational awareness. And the impact versus effort matrix helps you prioritize return on investment and quick wins. Pre-mortem analysis flips the usual mindset. Instead of asking what might go wrong, you imagine that the project has already failed. You stand in the future and ask, what exactly went wrong? You list every possible reason and then use that list to build safeguards into your plan today. This tool is best used before you launch a new initiative or solution, when there is still flexibility to redesign and protect the work. Imagine you're launching a new team workflow. In the pre-mortem, your team imagines it is 3 months in the future and the workflow has died. They describe why. Miscommunication, tech overload, no testing phase, unclear ownership, lack of training. Because you surface these reasons up front, you can update the plan now. Simplify tools, schedule tests, clarify roles, so those failure paths are much less likely. The pre-mortem turns possible futures into present-day safeguards. The 5 whys is a drilling technique that moves you past what you can see. You start with a problem and ask why. Then you take that answer and ask why again, repeating the process until you reach a cause you can act on. It's especially powerful when a problem keeps coming back despite previous fixes, because it exposes the underlying structure instead of just the surface behavior. Take a late project as an example. The problem is the project was late. Why? Because you missed the approval deadline. Why was the deadline missed? The manager was too busy to review it. Why was the manager too busy? They were handling too many direct reports and tasks. At that point, the root cause becomes clear. You need to redesign delegation and reporting protocols. The outcome is actionable change, not just try harder next time. Decision tree analysis is a visual map of choices and consequences. It's most useful when you face several potential solutions and you're unsure about the outcomes. You start with a decision point, branch out into options, and then follow each branch to its logical result. This turns a vague choice into a concrete comparison. Imagine you're deciding how to fix a software bug. Option A is a quick patch. The outcome is a fast, one-day fix, but a 50% chance the bug returns. Option B is a full refactor. The outcome is a slower, 3-day fix, but only a 5% chance of recurrence. When you see these branches side by side, the trade-off between speed and reliability becomes obvious, and you can choose based on current priorities instead of guesswork. Rapid SWOT is a snapshot of your current reality. At the very start of diagnosis, you spend under 10 minutes listing strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The goal isn't perfection, it's orientation. You want everyone to see the same landscape before you decide where to dig deeper. Consider a team where morale is dropping. In a rapid SWOT, strengths might be a high skill level and good tools. Weaknesses could include a heavy meeting load and unclear priorities. Opportunities might be automating reporting or canceling unnecessary Friday meetings. Threats could be staff burnout and competitors hiring your people. Once this is on the table, the weaknesses quadrant becomes the clear target for your next diagnostic step. The impact versus effort matrix is your filter for smart work. After brainstorming options, but before assigning tasks, you plot each idea on a grid. The axes are impact and effort. High impact, low effort items are your quick wins. High impact, high effort items require careful selection. Low impact items, especially if they're high effort, should be minimized or delegated. Imagine you want to reduce errors. On your matrix, creating a simple error checklist lands in the high impact, low effort quadrant, a clear, quick win. Rewriting an entire manual is high impact but high effort. You might discard or postpone it. Sending a weekly status email is low impact and low effort, something you can delegate. By prioritizing quick wins, you build momentum and free capacity for the bigger moves that truly matter. These tools are most powerful when used in sequence. First, you run a rapid SWOT to understand the landscape. Second, you apply the 5 whys to drill into the key weakness. Third, you use the impact matrix and decision tree to select the best solution. Fourth, you run a pre-mortem to de-risk the plan. Finally, you execute and launch. In other words, don't use tools in isolation. Use them as a pipeline that moves you from raw symptom to verified cure. Here's how to apply this flow this week. Step 1. Block 30 to 60 minutes for focused thinking on one real problem. Step 2. Do a rapid SWOT and ask what's working, what's not, and where the real threat is. Step 3. Apply the 5 whys to that critical weakness until you reach a fixable root cause. Step 4. Brainstorm 3 to 5 options and filter them through the impact versus effort matrix and a simple decision tree. Step 5. Run a quick pre-mortem on the winning idea, then assign clear tasks, owners, and deadlines. You can think of this as a 5-step process flow. Step 1 is focus. Choose one specific problem, not a vague set of frustrations. Step 2 is rapid SWOT to see the full picture. Step 3 is the 5 whys to get to root cause. Step 4 is filtering options with impact versus effort and decision trees. Step 5 is pre-mortem and execution. That's your repeatable pipeline from confusion to clarity. There are 5 big ideas to remember. Diagnose. Don't just act faster, understand deeper. Anticipate. Use pre-mortems to turn vague worries into concrete safeguards. Dig. Use the 5 whys to move from symptoms to causes. Prioritize. Choose smarter actions, not just more actions, with the impact matrix. And system. Create a repeatable treatment plan instead of one-off heroics. Together, these ideas define a modern problem-solving mindset. Now ask yourself a few questions. When a problem appears, do you immediately ask, "What do we do?" or "Why is this happening?" Are you treating urgent issues as important simply because they're loud? Do you rely on gut instinct because structured thinking feels too formal? And are you solving the same problems today that you were solving last month? Activity is not the same as achievement. To make this real, use a simple Monday morning checklist. Have you identified the specific problem instead of just the symptom? Have you scheduled 30 minutes for diagnosis with no distractions? Have you completed a rapid SWOT and drilled down with the 5 whys? Did you brainstorm at least 3 solutions, pick a high-impact quick win, run a pre-mortem, and assign clear ownership and deadlines? If you can tick those boxes, you're no longer just busy, you're effective. These tools are for everyone: students, team leads, managers, and entrepreneurs. You don't need a title to start diagnosing problems correctly. Pick one real problem this week, run it through the full flow, and share the results with your team. Anyone can think like a problem solver, not just a firefighter.